There is a prison most people build for themselves without realizing it. It has no walls, no bars, no guards, but it is more confining than any physical cell. This prison is overthinking, and it keeps more people from their potential than fear, than doubt, than any external obstacle ever could. You know you are trapped in it when you have the same conversation with yourself for the 3rd, 5th, 10th time, when you analyze every angle until the angles multiply into paralysis, when clarity becomes fog simply because you stared at it too long. Machiavelli understood something that modern self-help refuses to acknowledge. Overthinking is not a thinking problem, it is a power problem. It is what happens when you have surrendered control to your own mind instead of wielding it as a tool. The mind, left undirected, does not solve problems. It creates them. It loops. It catastrophizes. It builds elaborate scenarios that will never happen and avoids simple actions that could change everything. And here is the dark truth Machiavelli would tell you if he were here. Your overthinking is not protecting you. It is killing you slowly. Every hour spent deliberating is an hour someone else spent acting. Every day spent refining the plan is a day someone else spent executing an imperfect one. The world does not reward the best thinkers. It rewards those who move while others hesitate. So what is the dark trick? It is this: you must learn to betray your own thoughts. Not all of them, not permanently, but in the moments when thinking has become a substitute for living, you must cut the rope. You must act before you feel ready. You must move before the plan is perfect. You must embrace what Machiavelli knew deeply, that action creates clarity, not the other way around. Most people have this backwards. They believe they need clarity before they can act. They wait for certainty, for the right feeling, for all variables to align. But Machiavelli observed power for decades, watched leaders rise and fall, and he concluded something that still disturbs people today. The ones who waited for perfect clarity never moved at all. They were destroyed not by bad decisions, but by indecision itself. Overthinking is seductive because it feels productive. You are doing something. Your mind is active. You are considering options, weighing outcomes, thinking deeply. But this is an illusion. Thinking without action is just sophisticated procrastination. It is a way to avoid the discomfort of risk while maintaining the narrative that you are trying. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold, but he did not mean reckless. He meant those willing to act on incomplete information, those willing to adjust as they go, those who understand that the map is never the territory and that real feedback only comes from real movement. You cannot think your way into perfect execution. You can only act your way into better thinking. The mind's natural state is problem generation. Give it a decision, and it will find 17 reasons why each option could fail. This is not wisdom. This is the mind protecting itself from discomfort. Because every action carries risk. Every choice could be wrong. Every step forward could lead to failure, and the mind hates failure more than it loves success. So it convinces you to wait, to gather more information, to think it through one more time. And while you think, others act. While you refine, they iterate. While you calculate risk, they are already adjusting based on results. This is the cost of overthinking that no one tells you. Opportunity does not wait for your readiness. Machiavelli observed that princes who hesitated lost their principalities, not because they lacked intelligence, but because they lacked decisiveness, the ability to act swiftly on limited information, to commit to a direction and adjust later, was more valuable than the ability to analyze perfectly and move slowly. Here is the dark trick in practice. Set a decision timer. When faced with a choice, give yourself a fixed amount of time to think. 5 minutes for small decisions, 1 hour for medium ones, 1 day for large ones. When the timer ends, you act. No extensions, no exceptions. You choose with whatever information you have, and you move forward. This will feel reckless at first. Your mind will scream that you need more time, more data, more certainty. Ignore it, because what you are training is not recklessness. You are training the ability to act despite uncertainty. And that ability is the difference between those who shape their lives and those who are shaped by circumstance. Most of the decisions you are overthinking do not matter as much as you think. Machiavelli would ask, will this decision matter in 5 years? If not, decide in 5 minutes. The obsessive deliberation over trivial choices is a waste of the same mental energy you need for choices that actually matter, and you cannot tell the difference when you are overthinking everything equally. Another element of the dark trick: accept that you will be wrong. Not sometimes, often. Machiavelli himself made miscalculations. He bet on the wrong prince, ended up tortured and exiled. But even in exile, he acted. He wrote. He strategized. He did not stop moving because he had been wrong before. He understood that being wrong while moving forward is superior to being right while standing still. Overthinking is often a symptom of perfectionism, and perfectionism is fear wearing a disguise. It pretends to be high standards, but it is actually terror of judgment, of failure, of being seen as inadequate. So it keeps you in endless preparation, endless refinement, endless delay, and while you prepare, life passes. Machiavelli was not a perfectionist. He was a pragmatist. He asked, what can be done with what I have right now? Not what could be done in ideal circumstances, not what should be done according to abstract principles, but what can actually be done today with imperfect resources and incomplete information. This mindset shift is liberation, because it removes the imaginary standard you have been measuring yourself against. There is no perfect decision. There is no perfect timing. There is no perfect version of yourself waiting to emerge once you think long enough. There is only this moment and what you choose to do with it. Here is what happens when you stop overthinking and start acting. First, you fail faster. This sounds negative, but it is actually the key. Fast failure means fast feedback. Fast feedback means fast learning. Fast learning means fast improvement. The person who acts imperfectly 10 times learns more than the person who plans perfectly once. Second, you build momentum. Action creates energy. Even small actions, even imperfect ones, each step forward generates psychological momentum that makes the next step easier. Overthinking drains this energy. It creates mental fatigue without physical progress. But action, even when difficult, compounds. Third, you discover what you actually think through doing. Your beliefs about what will happen are theories. Reality is the only laboratory. You cannot think your way to knowing whether something will work. You can only test it, and testing requires action. Machiavelli understood that the world reveals itself through engagement, not observation. You can study warfare from books forever, but you do not understand it until you command troops. You can analyze politics endlessly, but you do not grasp it until you navigate it. The same applies to your life. You do not understand your own capacity until you test it through action. The dark trick also requires you to embrace brutality toward your own excuses, because overthinking generates endless justifications for inaction. I am not ready. The timing is not right. I need to learn more first. These sound reasonable, but they are traps. Machiavelli would tell you, readiness is a myth. Timing is never perfect. You will never know enough until you act and discover what you actually need to know. This does not mean acting blindly. It means acting with acceptable ignorance. You gather enough information to make a directional choice, then you move. You adjust as you learn. You pivot when necessary, but you do not stop, because stopping is where overthinking wins. One of the most powerful questions Machiavelli might ask you is this: what are you afraid will happen if you act now? Write down the actual answer, not the vague discomfort, but the specific fear. Most of the time when you force yourself to articulate it, you realize the fear is either unlikely or manageable. The monster in the fog disappears when you turn on the light. But even if the fear is real, Machiavelli would ask a follow-up question: what will happen if you do not act? What is the cost of continued hesitation? Often, this cost is higher than the risk of action. Opportunities close, time passes, others move ahead. The price of overthinking is paid in the currency of regret. There is also a social dimension to this. Overthinkers are rarely leaders, because leadership requires decisiveness, even in ambiguity. It requires the ability to say, "We go this way," when the path is unclear. People do not follow those who endlessly deliberate. They follow those who choose and move forward with conviction. Machiavelli observed that perceived certainty is more influential than actual correctness. The leader who acts confidently on 60% information often achieves more than the one who waits for 100% certainty. Because by the time you have perfect information, the moment has passed, reality has shifted, and your perfect plan is already obsolete. This is the paradox of overthinking. The more you think, the less you know. Because thinking detached from reality is just speculation. It multiplies scenarios without testing any of them. It creates an illusion of understanding while actually moving further from truth. So how do you implement the dark trick daily? You start with small stakes. Practice acting quickly on decisions that do not matter much. What to eat, what to wear, which route to take. These micro-decisions are training grounds. Each time you decide quickly, you strengthen the neural pathway of decisiveness. Each time you overthink, you reinforce paralysis. Then you gradually increase the stakes. Medium decisions: which project to pursue, which skill to develop, which relationship to invest in. You give yourself limited time to consider, then you commit, and you watch what happens. You learn that most decisions are reversible or adjustable, that few choices are as final as they feel in the moment of overthinking them. Another practice: implement a bias toward action. When you are unsure whether to act or wait, default to action. Take the meeting. Send the message. Make the offer. Start the project. You can always stop if you discover new information that changes the equation, but you cannot recover lost time spent overthinking. Machiavelli also understood the power of public commitment. Once you declare an intention publicly, you create social pressure to follow through. This can override the internal pressure to keep deliberating. Tell someone what you are going to do. This transforms the decision from internal debate to external commitment. But here is where the dark trick gets darker. You must be willing to disappoint yourself, to act and be wrong, to choose and regret, to move and fail. Because if you require yourself to be right every time, you will never move at all. Perfection is paralysis. Excellence is iteration, and iteration requires action. Machiavelli was exiled, imprisoned, tortured. His political career ended in disgrace, yet his writings outlived everyone who opposed him. Why? Because he continued to act with his mind, even when he could not act with power. He wrote, he strategized, he engaged with reality as it was, not as he wished it to be. And that engagement, that refusal to retreat into pure contemplation, made him immortal. The same principle applies to you. Your overthinking wants you to believe that one wrong move will destroy you. But the truth is, inaction is destroying you right now. Slowly, invisibly, in ways you will only recognize years from now, when you look back and ask, why didn't I just try? So the dark trick is not really a trick at all. It is a confrontation with reality, a recognition that your mind, for all its brilliance, is also a coward when left in charge. It will choose safety over growth, certainty over opportunity, comfort over achievement, unless you override it. You override it by acting before thinking has finished its endless loop, by moving while doubt is still present, by choosing direction over perfection. This feels dangerous because it is. Every real choice carries risk. Every action could fail. But this danger is where life actually happens. Machiavelli understood that fortune favors not just the bold, but the mobile. Those who can shift, adapt, act, and adjust faster than their circumstances change. Overthinking makes you rigid. Action makes you fluid. And fluidity is survival in a world that does not wait for your readiness. There is one final layer to this dark trick. You must kill the fantasy of the perfect future that overthinking creates. Your mind builds elaborate scenarios where everything goes right, where you are finally ready, where conditions align perfectly. This fantasy is comforting, but it is also a cage, because real life never matches the fantasy. And if you are waiting for perfection, you are waiting forever. Machiavelli would tell you to kill that fantasy, to accept that your path forward will be messy, imperfect, full of adjustments and corrections, and to act anyway, because messy progress beats perfect stagnation every single time. So here is your choice. Continue overthinking and maintain the illusion of control, while actually controlling nothing. Or embrace the dark trick, act on incomplete information, move before you are ready, fail faster and learn quicker. Betray your own endless deliberation and choose the uncertainty of action over the false safety of paralysis. The world is shaped by those who act, not by those who think about acting. Machiavelli knew this, and now you do too. The only question left is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you think about it, or will you act?